From your local election headquarters, elections in New York State will look different this year. The Senate and congressional primaries are being pushed back to August after the district lines drawn by the Democrat-led state majority were ruled unconstitutional by a judge. But the gubernatorial and assembly primaries are still on track to be held in June, unless lawmakers or Governor Kathy Hochul decide to push those back as well.
Jeremy Zellner, Democratic Commissioner for the Erie County Board of Elections, joining us now. Jeremy, thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about this. It looks as though we are going to have two primaries, one in June on the original date of the 28th, one in August. What are the challenges at the local level? Because really, this puts the pressure on you guys.
Yeah. Well, we've gone through 2 years of unprecedented challenges here in across the country with elections. Our staff has pulled through. We have the best staff in upstate New York, and we've dealt with challenges we never thought we would see, and we didn't think we would see more, but here we are. So now it's basically putting a whole other election on the shoulders of our campaign workers, our places where we have the elections, our inspectors. So we've got a lot to do between now and August. The lines won't come out until May 20th, so no one knows where the lines will be drawn for Senate and Congress. And we won't know how to get on the ballot for those seats until then.
Now, it can be hard to get people to go out to vote once, let alone twice. What do you think a solution is for that?
Well, we've just got to have folks that want to be involved to pay attention. We have put a social media page together at the Board of Elections. We've got a great website with all the information. We ask the media to help us with that as well. But we're in a sticky situation here where we've got federal elections, state elections, and we could have 3 elections this year.
That's got to be, a lot of people are curious about this cost. I mean, it costs money, costs taxpayers money to put an election on. What is the expectation for you guys at the local level, and how do you come up with that extra funding?
Well, we're hoping that Albany will help us come up with that, or Washington. You know, the shame of this situation is that one judge will appoint one person to draw the maps for federal lines and for state Senate lines, and that's really something when it's the state voters and the state electorate that are supposed to be voting on those lines. So. You know, that judge and that master who's in charge of this are really forcing us to have another election here, and we've got to come up with the resources to provide for it, because it is becoming a mandate for our counties to have to cover.
Now, when you talk about having another election, how do you think this will affect absentee ballots?
Well, as we have in the past, today our absentee portal went live where if anyone wants to apply for a ballot, they can go to our website, elections.erie.gov, and fill out the form. We haven't seen a huge increase in absentees late last year and this year, so I don't anticipate a big push for them, but we're ready for those if there is a big push for people just to mail it in August.
Let's switch gears, if we could now. Right now, the Assembly and Senate considering a bill that would allow former Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin's name to be removed from the ballot in June. That's got to be the way to go so that this election is as fair as possible. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I think it's common sense. Yeah. You know, we had a situation here where we had a congressman under indictment, Chris Collins, a few years ago, who could not get off the ballot. He tried. His attorneys, I think, said, you can't do this. And it really wasn't fair to the electorate then to not have a choice for a candidate. They were forced to choose between him and someone else, and he ended up winning that race. But I just think this is a common sense solution for someone who is indicted for serious crimes, not convicted yet, but has to go focus on that to be able to get their names off the ballot and be able to give the choice to the public instead of forcing him to stay on.
All right, Jeremy, that's all the time we have this afternoon. Thank you so much for coming in.
Sure.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.